Welcome back to America's Voice Live. Well, something that's on everyone's mind this time of the year is American independence, for all the obvious reasons, of course. When the 13 colonies successfully rebelled against British rule and gave birth to one of the most important and carefully thought out documents in history, maybe the most, the Declaration of Independence. But in order to truly appreciate the significance of American independence and documents like the Declaration, you must understand the history and the events that led us to that point. Here with me now is a man that can give us some insight to the history behind America gaining its independence. Dr. Bill Federer is an American speaker and the president of the AmericanMinute.com. He's the author of the book, American Minute, Notable Events of American Significance Remembered on the Date That They Occurred. He joins me now. Bill, good to have you here. Thank you for taking the time.
Steve, good to be with you.
All right, so we all know about the Declaration of Independence. We know about Lexington and Concord that happened in 1775, where, we got together. We didn't say nasty things. We shot each other. It's called war. It's called a struggle for independence. And those that were here were fighting the most powerful military in the world, but they had had enough. They were angry. But how did we get to the Declaration? How did that come about?
Right. So from the beginning of recorded human history, the most common form of government is kings. Nimrod, Pharaoh, Caesar, Kaiser, Sultan, Tsar. And as the centuries go on, the kingdoms get bigger because with military advancements, kings can kill more people, until finally the King of England was the most powerful king on the planet. He was a globalist. He was a one world government guy. He controlled India, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, British Guyana, Canada, Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica. And America's founders decided they didn't like a globalist one world government guy telling us what to do. So they broke away and flipped it and made the people the king. So America is an experiment of bottom-up government versus top-down government. They did not like a king or some leader ruling through mandates. And our Constitution is basically taking the power of one-person rule and breaking it into three branches and pitting those branches against each other, and then breaking power federal to state level, and then tying up this federal Frankenstein with 10 handcuffs we call the first 10 amendments. So Constitution, in a sense, is just a way to prevent a president from ruling through mandates. And but here we were.
But that's what they do now. That is what they do now. It's executive orders and ignoring the Supreme Court and all sorts of crazy things that go on. We call it a constitutional crisis under normal circumstances. We're not exactly normal right now. But continue on. I just want to interject that because we seem to be, as we talked about on this program from time to time, almost in a post-constitutional America. Because you see a lot of things, the way the country was constructed, being ignored.
Right. And so the century prior to the Declaration, the ideas of self-government were developed by pastors and churches in New England. Thomas Hooker came up with the idea of government from the consent of the governed. Reverend John Wise came up with the idea of popular sovereignty and inalienable rights, and they got their idea from the Bible. But what part of the Bible? The first 400 years out of Egypt before King Saul. It's called the Hebrew Republic. And this was the first instance in world history with millions of people and no king. It worked because everybody was taught the law and accountable to God to follow it. And so that's why they taught Hebrew at Yale and Harvard. So this was the kings of England, they looked to the Bible for their authority, but they looked to the King Saul and on part of the Bible, the divine right of kings. God chose me and I'm going to rule through fear and I got an army. So in a sense, King Saul's the divider between America and England. But in America, this covenant form of church government became the New England colonies government. They had one building in each town called the Meeting House. That's where the pastor would teach the Bible, and that's where they would do their city business. And the word synagogue means meeting house. That's where the rabbi would teach the law, and that's where they would do their city business. And so when the revolution starts, the British send over a military governor, Thomas Gage, and he outlaws meeting houses. We don't need the people meeting and giving your consent. You just obey government mandates. And we're like, no, nothing happens in America unless we give our consent. It's like, no.
Yeah, we can't have people getting together and having ideas. Those ideas are not allowed. The thought police were out early then. Anyhow, carry on.
Yeah, and so America, our founders, for all their faults, they gave us a present. And that present is we get to be in charge of our lives. Right? The word citizen is Greek. It means co-ruler, co-sovereign, co-king. where kings have subjects who are subjected to their will, republics have citizens. And so there's a chapter in the Bible, it's called Romans 13, that says submit to the government, right? So in a monarchy, subjects submit to the king. In a republic, the citizens are the king. The politicians are your servants. You tell them what to do. And so in America, this experiment of people being in charge of themselves, it freed up. And we had the most prosperous nation that the world had seen, more individual liberty and more individual opportunity, because people are free to pursue their dreams and make contributions to society. And so when we look back at our founders, we have to appreciate the fact that they gave us a present and we get to be in charge. So when we pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic, we're basically pledging allegiance to us being in charge of ourselves. And so when somebody protests the flag, what they're saying is, I don't want to be the king anymore. I protest this system where I participate in ruling myself. It's like, okay, go back over to China, submit to Xi Jinping, right? Or to North Korea. So it's
well, Bill, you're exactly right.
You zoom out, you see how unique America is.
It really is, because prior to America, it was either kings or dictators or tyrants or lords, all of that. It was the iron fist of the rulers that had the power. America was a great experiment in self-government, and a great experiment it has turned out to be for 248 years. Bill, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. And I was going to mention, at the time of founding, you had 5,000 years of Chinese emperors, Japanese emperors, Korean emperors, Indian Maharajas, Russian czars, Muslim sultans, African chieftains, king of Spain. The whole world is kings. And here you have this little experiment taking place in America where we rule ourselves bottom up instead of top down. And anyway, thank you for having me on, and happy 4th. And if people are interested, my website's AmericanMinute.com.
AmericanMinute.com. You can find out more from Dr. Bill Federer. In America, the people are king. I'll be back on America's Voice Live.